This is 4TW Live for March 13th, 2015. Episode 17, The Darkside of the Internet, Part 2. Welcome to 4TW Live. Take dos. Yeah, I pulled a cardie and I was using my TV or my computer to watch TV earlier, and I forgot to switch the sound device back to.
I hate you.
I forgot to switch it from HDMI to my sound card.
Wow, wow, wow.
Which, that's kind of screwed up. But anyways, so, hey! We're back this week. This week we're going to be talking about the dark side of the internet. Yeah, we did it last time, but we thought, hey, we had such a blast. Why not continue it? Especially since there's a lot we missed the first time around. Joining me this week is Chris, the Real Kovacs, and Super Mario Banegas. So let's go ahead and get started. Back in my day, we had them AOLs on dial-up. You remember them days, Cotty?
Yes, I do. Sitting in my sliding rocking chair, watching the screens change this way and that with the little smileys and the whoopity doopity.
Remember having to go on them AOL chat rooms, going on them AOL message boards, talking about the X-Files, talking about that Mulder and Scully.
Yeah, back in those days, you had AOL chat, ICQ, and forums, and news groups. And
ICQ. Yeah. Well, back then, we didn't really have, I think, any of the problems that we really do nowadays. I mean, sure, there was still some shadiness, but it's nowhere nearly as dangerous as it is now, nor as annoying. People, I think, back in the day had more decorum. They were more polite or had more coof. They weren't total douchebag assholes that we deal with nowadays, especially on social media and in gaming, which we'll get to that here in a little. We'll get to that in the second half of the episode. So let's start with social network. The biggest one going is probably Facebook. Now, Cardi, I don't know about you, but my daughter unfortunately does have a Facebook account. Does your son have a Facebook?
No, and I even asked him, I said, were you even interested in one? He said no, to be honest. He just doesn't care.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
Take the many blessings there, man.
Yeah, exactly.
My wife decided that my daughter should have one without... that's a topic for another time.
Well, she's 13 or 14?
She's 13. But
yeah, because technically you have to be 14, right, to have a Facebook page.
Nah, 13. 13.
Or is it you're right, it is 13. Okay.
Now, I mean, I'm a protective parent. I have a daughter. She's a teenager, and I know a lot of her friends have Facebook. I know some kids that have Facebook pages, and they're not even in their teens. Hell, they're not even in their tweens. They're like freaking in elementary school, and they got Facebook pages. What the hell, people? Do you know what kind of sick bastards hang out on fucking Facebook? Seriously.
And you bring up a good point, too. Like, I don't like this guy. I don't like his radio show, but I mention it because he's brought this up, Drew Garabo. And he brought up a point about, you know how sometimes parents will put in their profile pics, because the profile pic, no matter what kind of privacy you have set up, anybody can see your profile pic.
Right.
Okay, anybody can. Now, they'll put their picture of, like, their kids or something, or but all their children, or one or more of their children.
Hey, just broadcast. Come kidnap me.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So you should...
Side note, with Facebook...
Yeah.
Okay, look, I know Facebook is a fun place. There are certain things I want people to stop fucking doing on Facebook. Number one, don't post your goddamn pregnancy test.
I know!
Look, I know you're... just say, hey, we're pregnant, we're having another baby. Cool. If you want to post a sonogram picture, I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. Not the damn stick you peed on.
Ew.
Ew. And yes, I have quite a few people on my Facebook that have done that. Second, I don't give a fuck what you ate.
Yep.
Look, I posted 1 or 2 food things because, hey, I made something that looks yummy. Okay. But the average, just like every single thing I eat needs to be posted on Facebook, yeah, enough. I don't fucking care. I get it.
Oh, by the way, a side note, my first episode of Cardi Knows Best, which is my new show, will actually be on social media, and I will rant about a lot of what we're talking about here.
Oh, good. Then we'll skip the rant for now and let you go into it later.
Sure, then.
But back on topic. There are some sick motherfuckers out there on the internet. Face it, there are. And they prowl Facebook like crazy looking for kids. And they do. And look, people, I understand you want to post pictures of your children and things on Facebook. But you need to understand that when you post this stuff, who can see it? Even though you set the privacy settings, it doesn't guarantee it's going to block everything.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't even know what the privacy settings are.
Oh, no, yeah.
Because Facebook's designed to be so nice and pretty and so quick and easy just to catch up on it. But yet, when you need to make a minute little change to your profile, it is deep in there. I'm pretty savvy myself trying to use it. Oh, but half the time I'm trying to change my email address. Oh, my gosh. It's like here to here, here to there, there to there, there. Oh, now you're in your profile. No, should not be that hard.
Now, yeah. And, you get these people that, look, I did the internet dating thing. Yes, I've, tried to hook up with a woman on the internet. Was successful at it.
Plenty of fish and, all those different ones.
Hey, I've picked up chicks on the internet. You have too, Chris, so don't you talk.
I know, I can't say shit.
Ain't no shame in that, gentlemen. Ain't no shame in that.
And trust me, back in the day, it wasn't that creepy. It really wasn't. I think it's gotten creepier. And I even know I associated with some people who's known people that have run off on that actually have run off with adults on the internet and they were teenagers. And they've run off and tried to meet up with people that were,
recently 40, on the news, Matt. Remember on the news?
Yeah.
Remember on the news recently, that girl that was, 12 or something, stole her grandmother's money out of her thing and got a taxi, and the taxi driver ended up turning her in or something. She ended up taking a taxi from, I don't know, it was Alabama or somewhere all the way down to Florida.
Yeah. By the way, food porn. Someone said food porn in the chat. Yeah, that does need to stop. But
yeah,
the problem we have here, and I actually have an ex whose sister tried to run off. I won't mention her name; it's not appropriate. But this shit does happen. But parents, you need to monitor what your kids do online. Seriously, look, I know it's hard to monitor everything your kids do. And, not all of you are tech savvy, like me or like Cardi, you're not that tech savvy. I understand completely. I do. But you can't be completely ignorant to what goes on. Mm-hmm. Because your job is to protect your children. And, going out to the fucking, just sitting there on your ass, watching fucking Breaking Bad, not paying a goddamn attention to what your fucking kids do, to what your kids do in the internet is scary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll give an example, which I gave both Matt and Mario here some entertainment out of it. When they came over to my apartment, they were playing around. My son's computer is now hooked up to the main TV. I'm using it as kind of a media center. And, I'll be honest, I wasn't monitoring his computer like I should. And not to the point of, I knew what he was doing, but I didn't see everything he did. And what he ended up doing was downloading a lot of viruses and shit. There was a ton of Trojans.
Oh my gosh, the look on Matthew's face.
Yeah, and that's my fault because I slacked and I should have kept up with stuff like that. And it won't happen again, that's for sure. Which I trust. The thing, what it comes down to is I want to trust my son enough to say, look, even though you're little, and I know you're not going to always do what I tell you, but I know you to know that you're smart enough not to do certain things. But even if you think you know your kid that well, you still
child is smart enough not to do something.
Exactly.
I will tell you this from experience. The smartest kid will do the dumbest frickin' shit. And they will.
That's exactly true.
We did it. They're going to do it.
Trust me on that. The cycle never ends.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
And by the way, when you're on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, checking in is just a good invitation to say, "Hey, come rob me."
Pretty much.
Yeah, check in. You know that.
There's been a lot of issues with that lately. Where you check in, people follow you. They're like, "Huh, they're not home. I could go rob them."
Mm-hmm. It's true.
And it's happened. I don't do check-ins anymore. I unless someone else is at my house, I don't, someone I trust, I don't do check-ins. And I discourage my wife from doing the same thing. I don't want people to know when I'm home and not home.
Exactly.
I don't want them to know what I'm doing.
100%.
Yeah, I could see the benefit. The only benefit of check-ins is if you're somewhere where
if you're trying to meet up with people, exactly. I get that, but you gotta be careful because you don't know who's monitoring.
Exactly.
Yeah, because if you think your shit's all locked up, just remember someone else that you don't know could be looking at one of your friends' profile, and they're seeing everything you see, or everything that you don't want
to your post, and then it's posted on your page. And some people are stupid enough to put their private information on the fucking internet to where you could track them down through very easily.
You know what's interesting? Though, let me bring up something here because I'm kind of noticing some weird pattern here. The way how we're describing this right now, doesn't it sort of remind you about, let's say our parents? They'll probably end up saying, well, you know what? Back 20, 30 years ago, everybody had their door open in the house. Everybody was inviting of everybody. Everybody knew each other. There wasn't really such a big problem and everything. And yet, look what happened a little bit into the 80s, getting into the 90s. All of a sudden, we just started just locking up those doors because all of a sudden now we found out about that there's pedophiles. We found out that there's psycho people in the world now, and all of a sudden now the doors are locked. But yet now,
I don't think it's getting worse. I think it's just being more open.
Yeah, that's where I see it right now with social media. Now it's like, we just have the doors open because we think we're safe, because we think there's a lot of security measure, and there are, but anybody of anybody, like Paul said,
Don't forget the population increase as well. It does play a big factor.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot. There's a lot more people on this world than there was back then. Not to mention
a lot more people on the internet than there used to be 10, 15 years ago.
Yep.
And there's also a lot of people that unfortunately have. Well, let's just be honest. There's a lot more people that are born into somewhat undesirable situations.
Yeah.
And thus creating, a whole, sad to say, a whole group of almost a subgenre of people that just, are not going to know what, a civilized life is like, and it's sad. And you can't. Anyway,
well, that's a topic for another topic. That's a topic for a whole nother show. Not for 4TW, but I see your point. But you need to be careful what's going on your Facebook accounts or on your social media. Be very cautious. Be cognizant. Also, if you take a picture and you put it on the internet, guess what? It's there forever.
Yeah.
There is no way to delete anything once you put it online.
It is all there.
And if you don't believe us, Matt, tell everyone about the site. What is it? What is it called again? Go back.
Well, the Wayback Machine, but I mean, there are literally like Facebook back shit up. There's like, someone can copy something. It's there forever. You need to always be aware of what you do online because it is there. It is there forever.
Definitely.
Now, there's also the rather darker side. The other side that I have a problem with Facebook is bullying.
Oh yeah.
Now
that's a big one.
I've been bullied. in real life when I was younger.
So have I.
And as an adult.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I know all three of us probably have been at one point or another. We're geeks.
Matt, I was
part of the territory.
Oh, yeah. That's a... Yeah.
And sad to say,
we pay that hefty price.
And I happen to bear witness to a lot of the bullying by Matt. Some of it in my direction, a lot of it in his. And
you're bullied far worse than I ever was.
Well, yeah, and that's because
you're a fat geek. Yeah, you're just thinking, just put a target on you.
Oh yeah,
in a redneck town. But you know what? When at the end of the day, when we left school, we went home. It was usually done, except for when we get jumped walking home. But that's a different story for another time. So but it's done and over with. Now, it's just starting. You get these little shithead little kids that go on Facebook and just talk shit about you all day fucking long. Either on Twitter or on Facebook or whatever the other social media. I don't think anybody uses fucking MySpace anymore. But mainly on Facebook, Twitter. Hell, they'll even go on to these websites to send free anonymous text messages and just text blast things to people saying you're a fucking whore or things like that. I'm like, my God.
Yeah, it's gotten to the point, and what's saddening is a lot of
fucking
people
disgusting.
What? Hey Matt, have you?
I'm
sorry. And Mario, have you? I didn't mean to interrupt, but
no, it's cool.
Have you ever noticed that? And one of the biggest problems with all that, and if you've noticed, is that a lot of these kids will say, "Oh, I'm just trolling." They drop the T word. I'm just trolling. Yeah. And trolling, there's a big fucking difference between trolling and cyberbullying.
Don't give me that crap.
We kind of avoided this topic because, one, I wasn't well versed in it, and two, I think it's fucking blown way out of proportion, but Gamergate.
Oh my gosh.
These female gamers or game developers getting bullied. And in reality, they're like freaking out that people are going to hunt them down and kill them or rape them. I'm like, look, no one was going to do that.
I think we have to thank Miss Anita for that one.
Her and that other, it was actually that other woman, the creepy looking one that was sleeping with the guy from Kotaku. I'm sorry, facial piercings weird me out. But anyways, for those of you who don't know, Gamergate was, well, look it up. I'm not really going to get into it very much. It was a big hubbub about a bunch of trolling dicks on the internet being misogynistic pigs against female gamers. In particular, a couple particular women who were rather vocal about the misogynism in the video gaming industry. And yes, there is some misogynism in it. But we're not going to talk about that topic, okay? That's
a topic on its own.
That's a topic on its own. In fact, Chris is trying to line up some guests so we can talk about that topic because we do need women involved in it.
Yeah, we already talked about we want to do that.
Yeah, but we're not going to talk about that right now. But the problem was the fact that people were literally sending threats to these women, which I don't care how pissed off or how much you disagree with somebody. Sending messages to sending stuff out there saying, I'm going to rape you or I'm going to kill you in any form is inexcusable.
Absolutely.
You are not trolling. You are making threats. There is a line, not a thin line. It is a very fucking thick, Sharpie, fat pin line between trolling and threats. And you fucking know this.
Oh, yeah.
And all you little douchebags, I'm just playing, I'm just joking around. No, you're not. There is nothing funny about rape. There's nothing funny about killing somebody.
Nope.
And some of these people found out the hard way because they got arrested.
Oh, yeah.
There is no anonymity on the internet, really. Yes, there is. There are ways to do it. But trust me, the average dickish troll doesn't know how to do it. And you can be found, and you will get arrested. Because these We are no longer dealing with, well, I was just messing around. No, you are not.
As the old saying goes, you give them an inch and they go a mile. So they were just
guys,
testing to see how far they can go.
It's like this. You can't just add JK or LOL or a fucking emoticon to the end of something, and all of a sudden that makes everything you said a fucking joke or.
My wife could tell you stories about that one. Oh my gosh, at her job. My gosh. But you're right. You absolutely have a good point.
Trolling is going on there, and every time someone says something, you contradict them or you try to start an argument. That's trolling.
Rile them up, yeah.
And as much as I fucking hate it, that's trolling. Yeah. Saying you're going to rape or kill someone isn't trolling.
Nope.
No. Nope. Trolling ends when the threat of physical violence in some form or another exists.
You know what? You know what the best way to say it, Matt and Mario? The best way to say it is just exactly how the sheriff of Polk County said it. Whichever, we know who he is. He's an awesome sheriff. And he said it like this: if it's something that you can't say in real life to a person to their face, then it's not something you could say online. It's the same. Yes. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, or just so people know, we're gonna do the women in gaming episode probably. I'm thinking we're probably gonna be doing it sometime after CES, more than likely, or E3 probably sometime in June. Mm-hmm. We have a lot already on deck, and we have to plan this one out, and I mean plan it out, not just how we fly by the seat of our pants on our usual shows. This one will have to be something we got to be very cautious with. Not because we'll piss people off, because we need to make sure all of our ducks in a row and our facts are straight. We can't have Cardi going off his faulty memory on something and us be like, dude, what the fuck? Or me completely,
Fuck you, you fucking piece of shit. No, we're going to have, and the beauty part is we know a lot of female gamers, and I have a few that want to join in on it.
Right.
And trust me, they have a lot to say. And
we have a lot of scheduling to worry about, and I'm probably gonna have my wife involved, and probably my daughter.
I may get my. I think my wife would love to talk about this topic very much.
Your wife plays games too, right?
Yeah, she does. She loves them.
But again, a topic for another time.
All right.
Yeah. But you know what? We'll stick with that. We'll segue.
Okay.
But we'll finish up with the bullying first, and this will be a good chance to segue. But the bullying online has gotten way too far. If you say something to someone, you're going to go online. It's getting to the point now where people are getting arrested. In Polk County, some girls bullied this girl so much that she killed herself. They got arrested. Yes, the charges were dropped, but one of these days, that's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. And we've already seen some people already get arrested and questioned because of them making rape threats and threats online. Look, if you're on Facebook, they can find you. All they need is your IP address, which I'm sure Facebook logs. Go to your ISP, say who had this, and guess what? It goes back to your account, you dumbass.
Yep.
And people are like, oh, they're on burner phones. Well, burner phones go through credit cards usually too. Or to a card. Trust me, they can find you.
They'll find you. They can even triangulate.
They will find you.
The GPS location.
They will Liam Neeson your ass. By the way, every Facebook post is GPS tagged. I don't know if you know
That's right. It is.
Did you also know, this one may be, I don't know if many people know this or not, but my wife pointed this one out. Facebook has that messenger program that you can put on your phone. Besides using conjunction with the actual Facebook app. Obviously, I'm thinking you guys may know, but when you install that program, that program will keep certain things on to keep a little tag on you. Especially your mic on top of that. I believe it even keeps your mic on your phone on so they can listen in this case.
I'd have to look into that.
There's a lot of
digital privacy is a topic for another time.
Yeah.
We can do a whole episode on digital privacy.
brought it up more to say if
that
you
might be
think,
part 3 of this series. Let's be honest.
Gosh, we're going for part 3.
Yeah, and we're almost venturing into tinfoil hat territory as well. So
I know, right?
We'll save that for a conspiracy episode. We need to do a conspiracy episode.
If you guys
Matt, make a note of that.
If you guys get a chance, just go to your Messenger, uninstall it, reinstall it, and then look at all the things it wants to do on your phone that it wants access to do.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be quite surprised.
People made a big deal about the Samsung TOSs where they said that it pretty much monitors you all the time.
Pretty much. And yeah, it's funny. It's like, you know what?
My TV's spying on me. Thanks.
The average person who loves their social media will skim right through it because to them, it's like another, here's the terms and conditions. I don't want to read it.
You give Facebook and Adobe carte blanche that if you use their services and put the photos on there, they can use them for marketing, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Well, just wanted to let you all know.
But, lesson here.
Knowing is half the battle.
Don't be an ass online.
Yeah.
If you won't do it in person, don't do it online. Just don't do it. But then there's the... Social media is not the only place where you have to deal with dicks online. Then there's dicks in gaming. So, probably the biggest problem I can think of is the trolls in gaming. You want to hop on a game, just have some fun. And apparently a lot of people like to have sex with my mom.
Yeah.
And rather suggestive positions.
Yeah. And by the way, saying that your mom is dead doesn't necessarily negate the trolling, because then they'll say, "Oh, well, I fucked her anyway, and then I fucked your dad," and apparently it's they fuck your whole family.
Yeah, I'm like, really? You have my dad? Okay. Sorry.
I guess so. But it's funny when we talk about trolling on gaming, I find it to be more comical than taking it seriously for me, because half the time I hear them, I'm like,
but it can destroy.
Really?
But it can destroy the enjoyment of the game.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
You're sitting there. You're trying to play a game. You're trying to have fun. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you can mute mics. I know that, but that you can't mute the texts. You can't mute the text chats. And you get these fucking little kids that go on there and again are complete douchebags on the internet. And you know what? It's usually not adults.
That's very true. That is very true.
It's usually 14, 15-year-old kids who have no fucking business playing Call of Motherfucking Duty. Get your kids off the adult-rated games.
Oh, yeah, I love that. Yeah. I love when parents, they sit there and they blame their kids for having violent tendencies, and yet you find out they play Call of Duty and shit.
Puff.
I mean, this is why the ES, what was it called? The ESRP rating?
ESRB.
I'm saying it right? Yeah, I mean, this is why that was made. This is why GameStop advertised
No, the ESRB was created because of Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat. Well, yeah. Historically speaking, it's been around for some time. And you've got, Toys R Us doing what they can. You've got GameStop. You've got other places that distribute games and such. But yet it's just the same thing with movies.
Parents don't care anymore. They think, they buy the recent Call of Duty game for little Tommy here. Little Tommy, who's a perfect little angel, gets straight A's. When he gets on the internet, he just talks to you about how he's going to fuck your mom in the asshole. I mean, because you fucking headshotted him. Or worse, you get your ass swatted.
Oh, can we talk? I know a lot about swatted, so if you want me to...
Did we talk about that last week? I don't know if we did.
No, we didn't, but I'd love to bring the... love to
go ahead. Please, let's talk about swatting.
I've witnessed this happen live while I was watching a stream, and for those who don't know what swatting is, it's when these trolls, these pieces of shit, will watch live streams on Twitch or the other services. There's other streams as well, and while that person is playing video games, obviously you hear gunfire and everything. They will find out what your address is, okay, via social media or what have you. They call your local police via 911. Usually from sometimes they'll if they're smart, they'll call from a random phone or something. And anyway, they'll call him and say, "Help! Please come to my address. This guy's murdering everyone in here and killing. Just saying all these ridiculous threats like there's someone here with a machine gun killing everybody, just as ridiculous as they can make it." So then, of course, naturally, the cops are going to send like the SWAT team. Hence, where swatted comes from. They'll send a SWAT team.
Oh,
and they'll
yeah, I
literally
remember seeing that.
Oh yeah, they will. They have to clear your house 100% before anything else can be done, and that means you might be put on which I've seen on some of the streams. They were literally put forcibly to the ground and held down by an officer, at gunpoint, while the other officers search your house and everything. I mean, it's to me, this kind of shit happens, and I'm telling you, that person better hope I never find out who did it to me, or I would fucking find them and I will seriously beat I would kill
Here
their
will
ass.
go fatty
Sorry.
Liam Neeson on your ass.
I will. Yeah. I will fucking destroy. I will destroy their family in front of their eyes, and then they'll be last. I'll torture their ass. Fuck that. Anyway.
But
we do not condone violence.
Yeah, I fucking do anyway, but not for TW.
Yeah, so swatting's just going too far. That's just being a poor loser.
It's going way too far.
Yeah. But the other part is when you're. I think what's even worse is if you're a woman online and you're a gamer.
Oh my gosh!
No matter what, everybody wants to get in your pants.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow, you're really just making us look bad. And again, they talk about how they want to rape you. Seriously, look. Like I just said, rape isn't funny. Except in This Is the End when Jonah Hill gets raped by a demon. But, there are exceptions.
You know what's even worse than that? What's even worse than that is when, and I've talked to like a few chicks I've gamed with, where they're actually, they're like 15, 16 years old, and there's these grown adult guys that are asking for like nudes and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Do you realize you could go to jail for that shit? And when they find out how
I fixed the computer one time for a friend, and he had nude pictures of his 16-year-old girlfriend on him. And I was like,
Lord.
Okay, here's your computer. It's fixed. You need to delete the pictures. He goes, why? I said, she's 16. That's illegal.
Yep.
And then it dawned on him, oh, yeah. Like, yeah!
You think, dumbass?
Moron.
You go to jail.
Because when you get
just
busted
because
for that,
you're 17 doesn't mean it's not illegal.
And they charge you for each item. Like, you get a charge for each one.
Yes.
So if you get found guilty, you're guilty on however many. If there's 100 pictures,
you have 13 pictures. You're getting 13 counts. You have 1,000. You get they usually do please at that point or something. But
yeah, still.
Mario is still there. I think Mario dropped.
I think he just dropped off.
Yeah, but anyways, he'll be back here in a second. My Skype is sucking right now.
He was just added back. Well, okay. Hold on.
There you go.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Bright House.
Yeah, Bright House is awesome. So Comcast is much better. But like we're saying, look, if you're a woman and you're online, you got to be very careful. If you have a daughter and she's online, you got to be very careful.
Oh yeah.
Because there are some sick sons of bitches out there. And
have you ran into any problems yet, Matt? Because I know Trinity's
I'm
on.
not talking about it.
You don't want to talk about it? Okay,
no,
I understand.
Not really, thank God. But I have safeguards in place. I monitor everything she does. I can track most of what she does. I can review it at pretty much any time. Everything goes through a proxy service at my house, and everything is logged for the most part through most services. Maybe there might be a few. I monitor every channel. Let's just put it that way. So, believe it or not, everything is monitored. So,
that's good.
The thing is, you just need to be aware of what your children do. I mean, and not only that, don't worry about your kid being the one being bullied too. Be aware of your kid being the bully.
Oh, yeah.
Or you being the bully. Because, like we're saying, most of the problems with the internet, especially on gaming, is from children who have no business playing the games. And I think didn't someone online, or there was someone reported, I remember, that she had some dude saying he was going to rape her, and he found out who he was online, contacted his parents, and said, hey, this is what little Jimmy is doing, and mom's like, we will take care of this. Well, guess what? It should never get to that point.
No, it shouldn't.
You should always be aware of what your children do online for gaming. But that's not the only problem you have with gaming. The other problem you have are cheating motherfuckers. And I'm not just talking about, I'm just playing in some amateur league or just with a bunch of friends and I have some douchebag with wall hacks. No, we're talking professional gamers with professional league hacks.
Yep.
Now, we kind of talked about this, I think a while ago, but I think that might be the episode that we lost.
Yeah, that might have been.
We'll talk about it again. Now, Chris, you're more versed in this particular area than I am. So why don't you explain the hacking scandals that's currently going on with CSGO and the professional leagues?
Okay, so where do we start? Okay, first off, Counter-Strike, through the newest rendition of Global Offensive, has become one of the top 3 most played online PC games, as far as even being competitive. Now, one thing unique about CSGO, well, it's not really unique. It's something they borrowed from another game that Valve made, which is Team Fortress 2, and it's a concept of having items that you can either buy with cash through a marketplace, which in the beginning wasn't like this. You can only earn them in game, random drops. But now it's expanded to an actual, what they call a community market. And that means you, as an individual, okay, say Mario here, you decide you want to play Counter-Strike Go, right? Well, it turns out, this used to be a common thing where, and I have to explain this first before I get to the dark side of it, so just bear with me here. Okay, so say Mario just started playing CSGO for the first time, okay? And me or Matt tell him about, and you happen to see someone playing and they got this really cool looking skin on their gun that looks different than the same gun you have. You're like, how do I get that? Well, good question. It turns out something that used to be easy and free to do, which in previous versions of Counter-Strike, is now a marketable item, and it's skin and it goes into trading, which I'll get in a moment. But you can actually get random drops depending on missions, where you can actually get. It's a way for them to create more playability in Counter-Strike. Okay. Basically, you buy these. They come out with what they call mission packs every couple of months, and these mission packs will include, play this map so many times and you get a skin, or you'll get a random drop of some kind. And the only kind of drops you could get are either a skin drop, which is it could be worth nothing or it could be very rare, or you'll get what's called a box. And a box basically is a box that you get and then you buy for $2.50. This is for every box, doesn't matter which one it is. The key costs $2.50 per key, and you use it to open the box, and it randomly picks a random skin. And you have a chance of getting anything from crap all the way to something that's very rare and worth a lot of money. Okay? And what you can then in turn do is you can either keep the skin, or you can decide to sell it on that community marketplace. You could sell it and get actual money that goes into your Steam account. And you can use that money to buy other games in Steam, skins within Counter-Strike, or whatever you want, but it's within Steam. Okay? Now, that being said, okay, you have this whole marketplace. It's really cool. And I'm summarizing it, by the way. There's a little bit more to it. Okay. Now, one thing that they decided to do, because lo and behold, we have the competitive field, where, this pro team versus this pro team, right? So someone got the idea of, why don't we bet skins or even keys? Keys is one of the biggest currency in betting, but you could also bet skins, and skins become value. Say, for example, you have 6 skins. They all equal up to like $500. You could bet $500 on said team. If they win, you win back that plus whatever it's just like betting. It's just like if you're betting on a football game or horses or whatever.
Right.
So they came up with a site called CSGO Lounge. Okay. Now, CSGO Lounge, again, it's not, Valve doesn't 100%, approve of this, by the way, but they just let it happen. And so on the site, that's where they handle most all the trading and all the betting. Okay. So you could go outside of actual Steam's own built-in, because they have their built-in trading system where you can trade items to other people.
Okay.
You can buy items from other people. But they created a system outside of that. Now, what do you think happens when betting gets involved? You're going to now open up this whole market for what's scamming, where people throw games. And there's 2 sides to this. You have teams that actually have recently got caught. One of the biggest ones was iBuyPower. iBuyPower, if you know, is a major company that, like Alienware, that makes custom computers, and they also sponsored a team in America.
Seriously?
Well, yes, and it turns out 2 or 3 of the players that they confirmed were involved out of the 5, and not including the manager, were confirmed not cheating, but they were doing something just as bad. They were throwing the match on purpose because of the odds, so they had private accounts that would then bet against themselves, and they would throw the matches so that way they can end up winning. We're talking thousands of dollars.
Bullshit.
Getting all the crap ton of money.
Now,
oh my gosh.
Now that's one side of it, and then the other side of it is the actual cheating part, which is becoming even more crazy because it's something that's been around a long time, but they're using the cheats now, some of these players, to get that extra edge so they can win matches online, and some even use the cheats on land because they have ways to do that. And that, of course, is becoming, they're catching them more and more, courtesy of ESEA. If you go to ESEA.net, they're the premier source and league for, if you want to be a serious gamer in Counter-Strike, that's where you go. And what they're well known for, they've been known for years, is having one of the best anti-cheat systems that literally is unbreakable. There is no cheat out there that has been able to get past it.
They stay up to date on their shit.
I mean, they really do. And so Valve, behind their backs, the story recently we talked about in a previous episode was that Valve went to ESEA and said, "Hey, let's put our heads together." And basically ESEA was like, "Hell yeah, we'll help you guys," because it helps the game, it helps them, and it helps everybody. So they gave them all their coding and everything behind the scenes. So they improved what's known as VAC, which is their Valve anti-cheat system. And now it's very effective. I mean, it still needs work, but it's more effective than before. And what it ended up doing when they implemented these recent updates, it caught some high-level professional gamers.
And we're talking like number 3, number 4 teams in the world. I mean, people that were going to be at DreamHack and were going to be serious contenders. These aren't like just, your average, amateur gamer. These are like the big boys. And the problem is they're all like, well, everybody does it. And people have been saying for years, there's cheats. But it's like, no, we got anti-cheats or anti-cheats. There's no cheating. We got anti-cheating. Doesn't work. Well, didn't work. Nope. Does now.
We'll find ways around it. The problem is the coders, the guys who make the cheats, are smarter than the ones making the anti-cheat. They're more vigilant. They find ways to get around it. And it's just as simple as that.
But the problem I think we have here is we're taking again the an up and coming professional sport And it is. Fuck you, any disagree. It is a professional sport that's tainted by the scandal because something that's on the verge. I mean, professional gaming is on the verge of breaking through to becoming mainstream.
Oh yeah, it totally is.
It's right there on the close,
and it isn't going to take a lot to break that, because the thing to get legitimacy is you're going to have sponsors.
Oh yeah,
and if sponsors know you can cheat your way through, they're not going to sponsor you. They're not going to take a risk.
Exactly.
And look, as much as it's great to have things like Mad Cats or Triton or some Razer or some gaming company sponsoring you, those are nothing compared to things like Coke or Pepsi or professional or these real big companies, which they're seriously looking at.
Nike.
Dude, I guarantee you, in the next 5 years, we will see Nike mice.
No, listen to this. Now, I did read somewhere. I'm at work, so I don't have the report in front of me. I can't find it. But there was serious talk from Cloud9. Cloud9 is considered arguably the top North American team. Unfortunately, I say that the way I say it because in North America, it's kind of dismal, especially after the iBuyPower incident. It's not looking pretty. But nonetheless, they're considered the best in North America. Now, they were actually talking to... Well, there was a rumor that they were talking to Reebok about actually sponsoring them.
Again, I said a big sponsor, not like Mad Cats or Reebok.
Oh, what? Come on, Reebok is a big sponsor.
Really?
That's
When's the last time you've seen Reebok on anything?
It's a mainstream sponsor. But listen, it's a mainstream sponsor is what I'm talking about. And Reebok, by the way, does the NFL jerseys. Hello. So there went your fucking shit down the toilet. Reebok is doing their NFL jerseys, which is big.
Okay, so Reebok is like, well, we can't do anything with real sports.
Oh, come on. I'd give Reebok a little bit more credit than that. But
they used to have the pump.
Yeah. But the point being, there are mainstream companies, like you said, that are taking a serious look. Not just the ones in the industry, like Intel, and who has ESL, which is one of the biggest competitors along with ESEA as far as providing a legitimate tournament with big money, big prizes, thousands of dollars,
Well, yeah, but we don't want to see it destroyed by something like this. And even worse, there's some people saying, oh, there's a witch hunter. They're just out to get these people. Well, yeah, because they're hurting they're hurting the game. They're hurting the industry. They're hurting the platform. They're hurting the sport. Cheating in any way, shape, or form should not be allowed. Well, they're just cheating to raise their game. Well, yeah, that's not an excuse. That's like saying, well, he took steroids to raise his game. He corked his bat to raise his game. It inflated the football to raise their game. No, you're not raising your game. You're being a douche. You're being a cheater. And cheaters deserve what they get. Look at you, Bill Belichick. But,
yes.
But, this is all a bunch... it's going to go down. Now, I think what this will really do is separate the real gamers from those that just cheat. I mean, I saw one where they were like, it was a live stream and the guy got VAC banned during a professionally broadcast game. I'm like, holy shit.
And everyone laughed. Wow. It was so funny.
Wow.
You can look that YouTube video up. It's pretty funny. And there's been other incidences where, like the most recent one where a couple of these guys from a professional team, which used to be Titan, but long story short, some of those guys, they came from a different team, and then they turned out they basically just got busted. Two of the guys did. while they were in game. And then they look back at previous tournaments and watch their play style, and literally it was like clear as day. You could see incidences where they were definitely there was some shit going on, you know. So it's not good. It's not good.
So don't cheat. Don't cheat.
Oh, another reason not to cheat. By the way, another reason, and this is probably most important of all. A lot of these cheat guys out there are actually scam artists too. Some of them are, or most of them are. And you don't know which ones they are, because that's the other side of it is they do this to make money, and they also find other ways to make money within that. That being said, there's ways that they have said, oh, we're going to give you this cheat, and you see all these people saying feedback, where it turns out it's not really people, it's all bullshit. You download the cheat, you hop in, boom, your account just got permanently banned. You can't play anymore or anything. You have to buy a new account. And you'll go back to those guys saying, hey, you said it was blah, blah, blah. And guess what they do? They end up blocking your ass, and they take off whatever money they took from you. And you're screwed. So, and that happened. And also viruses. A lot of times they will incorporate Trojans into the actual cheat and find ways to get into your shit and steal your information.
Oh, yeah. Don't. Yeah, I mean, because a lot of these require administrator level access in order for them to work.
They do. Mm-hmm.
Skaz, we're talking about CSGO right now. But it's going to happen. But luckily, it seems like ESA has their shit together. Valve is getting their shit together, so hopefully this will all end.
Well, there's a lot of money involved. A lot of money. Yeah. I mean, you've seen the last Counter-Strike Go tournament, the one from last year. Yep. It was the largest, and I was watching that match. It was NIP versus, Oh, my mind just went fucking blank. NIP versus Titan.
There's not much there, so you're fine.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, there was hundreds of thousands of people watching it, more than ever before, and it was awesome. And we want to keep that up. We want to see this get bigger and grow bigger, and it won't grow bigger if more people need to jump on the bandwagon of stopping these cheaters. And if you find out a friend is cheating, heavily discourage it. Say, look, what is the fucking point? There's too many downsides.
Oh, I'm just doing it for fun. We've heard it. We've heard it. I'm just doing it for fun. When I go to play for real, I don't use them. No.
The best current excuse is.
We've heard that.
No, the best one is I'm cheating because they're cheating.
Oh yes, yes.
Because the other team is cheating. It's like, okay, yeah, whatever.
And then it doesn't help that those of us with real skill, myself not included, get accused of hacking all the time because you're just good.
I had somebody at my last job who was like that. He said, I played it all for real, but I got accused a lot of the time, for hacking or for doing this. And I'm like, no. He had a few that were kind of local friends. He had them come over to his house, and he's like, look, watch me play. And not one bit. And they all feel
damn good.
And he just showed them, like, I'm just good. I just have my actual skills. And and those are the people that we, and you're right. It's kind of like you said, some people will say, well, I'm cheating because they are. I'm like, no, don't stoop down to that, man. You show them. No. You show them that skill can triumph over that.
Do they remember what your parents may or may not have told you, or you've heard, I'm sure, at least once? Okay. Two wrongs
not before you come in.
Just say
heard that one a few times.
Yeah.
Not before you come in.
I know. Two wrongs don't make a right, and it's a golden rule. It can't make any more sense than that. You just don't stoop to people's level. Be the bigger person.
Exactly. Yeah. Jeez.
You can't.
So you guys got any other topics on this you guys want to talk about and try and get out of the way this episode? Anything I haven't thought of?
I think we backed over most of it.
I think we poked around most of all the major topics.
I think we talked. We talked.
Lessons I think we can learn here is one: monitor your kids on the internet.
Yes.
Yeah.
2, don't be a dick. 3, don't sit in a fucking movie theater with a camera and record shit because no one wants to watch it.
It's garbage quality.
It's garbage quality. And 4, Metallica, you're a bunch of dicks.
Thanks for doing it.
It all started with that one thing called Napster.
You know what's funny? You mentioned Metallica, by the way.
Oh, please. There's shit before Napster. Napster just made it easier.
Oh, but listen to this now. I don't know if you noticed, but there's a lot of music, a lot of not just not the producers, but a lot of the
labels,
talent in the labels are now allowing some of their talent to say, "Hey, as a marketing promotion, you can have our whole thing for free, or you can have like half of it for free." You know what I mean? And through YouTube.
Digital distribution is the did we do an episode of digital distribution? Yeah, Mario and I. Yeah, we did do an episode of digital distribution.
Yeah, we did.
That's a couple episodes ago. Yeah, go back to the archives. Listen to that one.
Yeah.
Check out the YouTube channel or 42WNetwork.com. But so we've got some new stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks. We may be taking some time off from 4TW because Cardi and I are going to be making a movie. Woo. We're going to be making our first short film. Don't worry, we're not going to probably charge for it. It's probably going to be up online for free just because we're nice like that. At least I plan on doing it that way. I'm not going to charge you for a short film. That's bullshit. Yeah, we do a feature length, I'll charge you. But, you know. We're going to be doing our first short film here in a couple weeks, so we may not be on the show as much. But if we film anything really cool for the behind-the-scenes stuff, we'll probably put it up on 4TWNetwork.com and let you guys watch it. And we'll stream some stuff probably on it, too, if we have time. So, definitely. But if we will probably have a show we won't have a show next weekend because Mario's probably going to be unavailable, unfortunately. It's his birthday.
Yes.
And the weekend after that, I think, is my son's birthday. Yes.
Jeez.
So we won't have a show probably for 2 weeks till the beginning of April. But I promise the first episode in April will be movies based on video games.
Yay! Finally.
Movies based on.
Hey, to be fair, I think this topic was really fun.
Yeah, it is. No, it definitely is.
And educational, too.
Yes.
Very.
Because we're going to have a lot to say with movies based on video games because there's a whole lot of suck and very little that was good.
And there's still a ton of suck on the horizon and very little.
And there's some that are very underrated, in my opinion.
Yeah, which like the Mortal Kombat Legacy series.
I'm looking at Super Mario Brothers. You know what? Not as bad as some people really think. But we'll talk about that in a couple.
I liked it. To be honest with you, I like it. I have it on Blu-ray.
I have to get that Blu-ray.
It made all the way to Blu-ray?
Yes.
Dude, I kid you not, it's very popular in Europe.
Interesting.
Well, you know who made it? The people that created Max Headroom.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Which explains the aesthetic.
Yeah, which you could tell.
But personally, I love Mortal Kombat. I think Mortal Kombat's a very good movie, despite the source material. I think Mortal Kombat, outside of being a video game movie, is a very good movie.
The first movie?
The first Mortal Kombat.
Yes. I'll say that with a good 100%. It was good.
And the first Silent Hill movie. I actually liked the first Silent Hill movie.
Absolutely.
But I never played a Silent Hill game, so I think that kind of made it a little more easier.
I played most of them, and I still the composure was still good. It was still good.
Because the thing about just want to comment on Silent Hill real quick. The thing you would have immediately said is, "Where's Dante?" Okay, which is like the main. You know, he's the main character in the Silent Hill games, but he does come along in the second one. Although it's kind of weird how he comes along and
like the second.
But it didn't do good at all.
The second one was just
the second one was weird for the sake of being weird, but we'll talk about that next week.
They could have totally done the second one based on the fourth game, because that one was like a movie all on its own.
Yeah, and then we'll talk about the Resident Evil games that have very little, if anything, to do with the Resident Evil franchise at this fucking point.
I know.
Yeah, and they're still successful.
It's
when you make them on a medium budget and they make just a little bit over 100 million, that's called a success, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at this point people are just like, oh, it's Resident Evil, we gotta go.
Yeah.
Listen,
like
I love
it's like people going to church when they really don't want to. It's
want to?
Yep, I made it this far for the ride. I might as well finish riding this fucker out. You know,
it's like watching the last Harry Potter movie.
Yeah,
all right, it wasn't that all right. It wasn't that bad, but
I know, no, that was like the last 4 Harry Potter movies. Order of the Phoenix on, yeah, fuck that series.
Mm-hmm.
I read the books, all right. Yeah, I did. I read all the books, and it was bad when I went to go see Order of the Phoenix with my wife. She's like, "Oh, we're gonna go see Order of the Phoenix." Like, it's gonna suck. She goes, "How do you know?" I read the book and it sucked. I'm like, trust me, you've never read a book and been like, God, this sucked. In the movie, you're like, well, this is so awesome. Yeah, that's never happened. Except for Jurassic Park. I prefer the movie over the book. But yet that never happens. And I'm like, there's no way this is going to be, but nope, it sucked. Then Half-Blood Prince, I'm like, I like the movie. I like the book. I like this book. The movie's going to suck because it's so damn big. And yep, it's just Cliff Notes, and we'll talk about that at one point. We'll do an entire episode on adaptations at some point, and we'll talk
adaptations.
Yeah, books. Well, most movies are based on books. You know, Psycho's based
short
on books.
stories.
Most people don't know that.
Yeah, either books or short stories. Yeah.
Room 1408.
Yeah. Psycho's actually based on a book. Hellraiser, that's based on a short story. A lot of stuff. Chris, where can they find you on the interweb?
You can find me at 4TWnetwork.com as well as therealcartman.com. I think I set it to route to 4TW, but I'm almost getting to the point where I'm going to create my website. Again, with moving and everything, everything's kind of pushed back, but hopefully in the next 2 weeks I'll have my first episode out, my website will be up, and all that. And also, you can catch me on Twitter, pretty often on Twitter nowadays. And it's at symbol, what is it? It's me, Cardi.
So much
I don't know why I keep forgetting.
Remember.
So I always, for whatever reason, it always slips in my mind when I think about it. But it's me, Cardi. Simple as that. It's me,
Cardi.
Yeah, and you'll see the Cartman logo. It's me, trust me. And anyway,
the infamous "You can go die in a fire" logo.
Exactly. Thank you, Matt, for that. But yeah, feel free to follow me and retweet my ridiculous shit and all that fun stuff.
Watch him get into flame wars with local radio DJs.
Oh my gosh!
Bastard Callahan, stupid fans. Anyway.
Hey, they were watching 1 week, so hey, that's viewership.
Yeah, exactly.
Ain't complaining.
Thanks for watching if they are watching.
Exactly. I was just amazed that they managed to figure out how to use the computer. Mario, where can they find you?
Still on Facebook, Mario Banegas on Facebook for now.
Someday he'll post something on the website.
I'm working on something, and I'm just gathering my thoughts and trying to write it nice.
Mm-hmm. Could always do some live streaming. You got an Xbox One.
I know. I'm close, but I need you to kind of show me the ins and outs of the XSplitter program so I can try it on my computer.
Just don't leave it on when you're sleeping.
Really.
Anyway. You can find me at AdmiralJoker.com, but I don't really do anything there. So you can always find me on 4TWnetwork.com. I post everything there. That's kind of weird.
You should post them on Facebook.
Yeah, I do post on Facebook, but the problem is no one can spell my fucking name, so just find me on 4TW Network. On Facebook, I am Matthew Maciejewski. I used OBS Skags, but I had a lot of fucking problems with it. Mainly the transitions I don't like as much, and the fact that my videos got corrupted all the damn time. Yeah, I actually mentioned OBS to Mario, so we might. I'm going to help him use some of those. So, yeah, OBS is a great software. We actually did our first couple shows using that. It worked out pretty well. XSplit has certain features that bring up the game a little bit with certain things that we do, specifically with the transition, or not just transition, but with the scenes. So it makes it a little easier to manage. But OBS is a great piece of software. If you do ever want to do live streaming and don't want to spend money or just want to try it out, use OBS. It's free. It's open source. It works great. Not as good as XSplit. I'm sorry. There are some advantages OBS has, but XSplit's engine is just more streamlined, especially with the newer versions. It works so much better. But,
I mean, it's almost like effortless. I mean, they've put so much work into when you set up frames, and it has a new centering feature, so you can center images, and it's really cool. I mean, it has a lot of neat things that makes your life a lot easier when you want to stream. So.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And Cardi will eventually stream. He's supposed to stream in GTA 5, but his fat ass ain't doing that.
5 hasn't come out yet, jackass.
The one I thought I saw you on it this morning.
No, that was GTA 4, and yeah, I might stream it until 5 comes out. But yeah. Anyways, 5 comes out. I think
yeah, Mario, you would be a good streamer. You should definitely start streaming. I'll have you over one weekend. We'll go over setting it up, and we'll get you streaming a 4TW network.
Okay. So sounds like a plan.
And I will be streaming Battlefield Hardline probably next week. So stay tuned for that.
Woo.
And my son probably will be too. I know I just went into this tirade about kids playing games they shouldn't, but fuck you, I'm a hypocrite. So
hey, Battlefield Hardline looks awesome because it looks like it's kind of going to be a very good competitor with Counter-Strike.
I actually liked it. I'll give a short review. I liked it. I really did like it. I'm not a Battlefield fan. I'm not.
Well, recommendations for the week. That's your recommendation.
My recommendation for the week, get Battlefield Hardline. Seriously, I'm not a Battlefield fan. I did not like Battlefield 3. I like the original Battlefield. I like Battlefield 2. But, I mean, Battlefield, Vietnam, wasn't a big fan of. Wasn't a big fan of 3. I didn't really play 4.
Like 4. Yeah.
No.
4 was okay.
4 is more the same shit. There's 3. To be fair, 4 was a fucking expansion pack that you paid $60 for. From
I sort of felt that way about it too, and I didn't play most of them either.
It is. It's a fucking expansion pack. You paid. Fuck you.
It really was.
But Hardline takes a lot of classic scenarios and puts an interesting twist on them. The new one with the cars, which is almost like a capture the flag with cars, is awesome. That is fun.
It's awesome,
no, seriously, the point is you grab the cars and you drive around, and as you drive around you lower the respawn of your opposing team, but you can stop them by shooting the cars with fucking rocket launchers and shit. It's fun. It's really fun. I love that. Yeah, the hot wire mode. Oh, it was great. And it really it's not military. It's actually more police and criminal based this time around. So it's definitely not your usual Battlefield. That's why Chris said it reminds him very much of Counter-Strike. And it's not. It has similar feel, but it's not. It is literally Battlefield or Counter-Strike if Battlefield made it, if the Battlefield creators made it.
Pretty much.
And I don't think DICE made this one either. I think someone else made it, didn't they?
No, DICE didn't make it. I forgot who.
Some other studio was involved this time around.
Let me ask a question though. I mean, I've only seen people stream or IGN.com showing some video clips of a Hardline. Out of curiosity, when I looked at the characters, this is just me being just nitpicky, I guess, because it's the next game that's supposed to push, I guess, visuals first, I guess. When I look at the characters, I'm like, they look pretty cool, but for some reason they look very stiff.
Visceral Games made it, not DICE. It was Visceral Games.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a different art department, art style.
Yeah, they actually, Visceral's the one that made Dead Space, right?
Dead Space. Yeah.
That was a fun game. Creepy game, though. Fun game.
You know, I think they made the last Army of Two game as well, if I remember correctly. Which I wasn't a big fan of that one. But they do make Dead Space, which is always fun. And they made the Godfather game, so, you know.
That's right.
That wasn't a piece of shit. The first one. I never played the second one.
Good game, though.
Yeah.
So, alrighty. So, for Chris, the Real Kovacs, and Super Mario Banegas, I am Matthew, Admiral Joker Maciejewski, saying you guys have a good week and good night.
Good night, everyone.
Yep, see you, bitches. Bye-bye.
Night, guys. Take care.